Hi, I'm Larry Trocha, and I'm here today to do a training tip on turning and spinning your horse. Today I've got a snaffle bit on this horse, and we're going to go through the things that your horse needs to do before he's ready to do correct turns and correct spins. First off, let's talk about holding the reins on the snaffle bit. This is a ring snaffle with a thin mouthpiece, and what I do is I cross the reins over the horse's neck. The right rein goes over first, the left rein crosses over on top of it. Then I pick up my reins and I anchor them between my thumb and forefinger, and that keeps my placement on the reins, and that frees up my fingers to work on the reins and act as a cushion when I take hold of the horse's mouth, okay? So here again, it looks basically like this. And when I use my hands, pay attention to my hand position and how I use them. Most of the time when we turn the horse, my elbow is going to come back. A lot of people will make the mistake of bringing their hand way down here and have their arm straight, and that doesn't work nearly as well, okay? So most of the time I'm going to be pulling toward my belt loops, all right? So the first thing we need to be able to do to have a horse turn correctly and spin correctly is to be supple, to give his head to the bit. Because we need to position his body. You know, a horse needs to come through a turn or a spin nose first. We need to be able to position his head and his body, so I want to be able to, when I touch him with the left rein, he should give his head to the left, okay? When I touch him with the right rein, he should give his head to the right, okay? And if he doesn't, I might give him a couple little bumps. And as soon as he gives his head, I'll give him the slack, okay? The other thing the horse needs to be able to do is walk forward freely. See how this horse is stepping? Step, step, step. And when I squeeze with my legs, he'll step faster. It's important that you have that. The other thing that you need to have is shoulder control. When I take my left rein and press it against his neck, or right where his neck comes into his shoulder, he should move his shoulders away from that rein. And this is called the indirect rein, you know, kind of a neck rein. And see how he moves his shoulders off that? Okay? And you need to have that go in both directions. If I put the right rein on him, his shoulders should move to the left. And we basically get that by laying the rein and pressing with my foot, or pressing with the spur. And as soon as he moves off it, I give the slack. Everything is pressure and release. We put the pressure on the horse, and when he moves off of it, we give him the release to let him know that he did the right thing. So as I'm walking forward, if I press him with this right rein, I'll press him with my right foot until he moves off of it. There. And as soon as he moves off of it, I quit pressing and give him the slack. Now, once we have that, I also think it's pretty important that your horse give his head vertically. Okay, so notice when I took hold of him, his nose came back to my hands, he dropped off the bit. And that's a matter of teaching your horse to flex it at the pole, and I think that's important to have also. Now, to get the horse turning, what I like to do is use a direct rein to bring his nose in the direction of the turn, and indirect rein to bring his shoulders. So if I'm going to turn to the right, it's right direct rein, left indirect rein, okay? And once I have the horse turning correctly, following the direct rein and moving off the indirect rein, well then getting turns is real easy. And we can do a series of turns and turn it and make those series of turns come down into a spin. Now I use my reins with a rein and release, okay? It's pressure and release. So rein, release, rein, release, rein, release. And every time I rein him, that front end moves off those reins, I give him the release. Same to the left. Move my hands to the left, put pressure, he moves off of it, I release. and rein, release, rein, release. Good. So right there, I just started rein, release, and I started asking quicker with my reins. And each time I put pressure, that front end moved a little quicker and a little quicker. If it didn't, I would have used some outside leg pressure. Now, the other thing you can do is just position the horse's head and body with the reins, and then you can press him with your outside leg to get the momentum, the drive going, okay? So if I was going to turn him around to the right, I could just take the direct rein and place the indirect rein against his neck and then press with the outside leg. Good. Good boy. And, you know, basically, you know, the reins give direction, and your feet is what gives the motivation for the movement, okay? So to the left, I can position his head, nose first. Now indirect rein against his neck and press with my outside foot. Good boy. And when I'm pressing with that outside foot, the pressing is press, release, just like the reins are. It didn't look like my hands were moving much in that spin, but they were still little tiny reins and releases, just very subtle. And once the horse is in that spin, it doesn't take much to keep him in there. Okay, this pretty much gives you an idea of how to get one turning around and spinning with the snaffle bit. Let me show you how we would do it with the curb bit.